So we are going to dive into Chief's training. So when we're working with Chief, we have to understand that he's still young and he is still kind of finding what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So we are going to be firm but fair. So what that means is we are going to correct the behaviors we don't like firmly using the remote collar and the slip lead, but also reward the behaviors we do like through praise, rewards, petting, all that fun stuff. So treats and pressure, basically. So we are going to go through how to operate the remote collar first. So first thing in the morning, what you want to do is turn on the collar. And how you're going to do that, there is a little red dot right here on Chief's collar itself. On the remote, if you look on the side with the antenna, you see the little red dot that matches it. What we're going to do is connect those two dots together, and it is going to activate a green light turning on the collar. So we're going to touch the two. We see the green light, it's on, charged, and good to go. So first thing in the morning, we are going to turn this collar on. Next, we are going to turn on the remote. So on the back side, we see the big dot here in the middle, the big button, it's the L button. We are going to push and hold that. So I'm going to push it, hold it, until the screen lights up. So we know that the remote is now on. So he is set at level 20 out of 100, which is not that high. And that is going to be our tool to correct him for unwanted behaviors or for not listening to the command originally. So with my left hand being Chief, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So on the remote, you're going to look at the two S buttons. We are going to use the black S button. So let's say you ask Chief to go to place, and he's on place, he's doing well, but he tries to get off of place. You're going to say no and push the black S button. That has stimulated me, so I'll show you again. No, press the black S button, and then ask him to go to place. So you say the word no, you pair it, you follow through with the stimulation, and then you give the command so he understands what's appropriate to do. So again, no, push the button, give the command. That's going to be how it should work out. So that's with everything. Heel, sit, down, place, come, and leave it. All of which, if he does something you don't like or he didn't listen to the command, you say no, push the black S button. Next, we're going to talk about the red S button. So we have not needed this for Chief. I haven't needed it while I was working with him. What it does is it boosts the level from 20 to 40. Oh, I'm sorry, to 20 to 35. So it's a pretty big jump. So I'm going to show you on here. I'm going to push the red button. You're going to see it go from 20 to 35. So that's a little bit of a jump. Basically, when dogs get aroused or excited, their discomfort tolerance goes up with that excitement. So we might have to match that with him. Again, I haven't needed it, but for example, I would use the red S button if I were practicing off-leash commands with Chief and he sees something really distracting. I try to correct him with the black. It didn't work. I go to red. So it can be a life-saving tool, especially if he's running towards like a road or something like that. You want to get him back ASAP, so you would press this until you got his attention. Okay, so that's these two. Over here on the other side, we have the T button. It is vibrate. So you can use this as a warning sometimes in the car if he gets really excited. I would just have this lanyard around your neck, and if he does something in the car that's too exciting, I would tell him no, give him a little warning, and then if he continues, I would tell him no and give the stimulation with the black S button. So that's how you would correct him. We next have the dial right here, so you notice that the level is not changing. Even though I'm increasing and decreasing it, I have it set and locked. How to unlock it, you would actually push down and hold it. The 1D at the top would then start to flash, and then you can adjust it. So let's say in the future 20 isn't enough or 20 is too much for Chief, you would unlock it, turn it up or down, and then lock it again. With that being said, you don't want to just turn it up to like 22. You want to increase it by increments of 10 or more. So if 20 wasn't enough, I'd go up to 30. If 30 wasn't enough, 40. If 20 is too much, go down to 15. So you don't want to go all the way to 10 because he can barely feel it at level 10. So you want to go down to 15. That would be the lowest I would go as a correction level for him for a while. Next, we have the back of the collar. So the on-off button that I showed you earlier can also be a flashlight. So instead of pushing and holding it, if you just tap it again, it becomes a flashlight so you can see Chief at night because he's a black dog, so you can see him easier at night. Tap it again to shut it off. So if you go to turn the remote off and you just hold it but not that long, you will then activate the flashlight. So just keep that in mind. We also have this little M/C button over here. That is to change the collar from a momentary stimulation to a continuous one. We don't need that for Chief's training, but basically you can see I'm going to push and hold the button and you see that it just stimulated that one little red light up. That is because it's a momentary tap instead of a continuous stimulation. So if for some reason you look at your screen and you see a C instead of the letter M, you want to change it by pushing that button right there. So those are the functions. Stay consistent with him. This is rechargeable and it's waterproof. The charging port on the remote is on the back here, this little flap. Boom, make sure that's shut to protect the electronics. Here, it's underneath where the prongs are. Make sure that's shut to protect the electronics. So you want to put this on Chief first thing in the morning. You want to stay very consistent with him. He can wear this anywhere underneath. It can be on either side as long as it is underneath his chin. Sometimes if you put it kind of in the side pocket, it's a little bit more comfortable, but we do have the bungee strap, so that does have give. He'll grow a little bit, so you might have to loosen it just a smidge, but it has that nice give to where it's not going to be too tight. It should be snug, allowing only 2 fingertips underneath the collar so that the contact points make great connection with his skin, and we're going to stay consistent with following through with our commands. This is rechargeable. It should last a couple days on a charge, and it only takes a few hours to charge back up. So you can charge it every day if you want to, but you don't have to. We're going to now look at the slip collar. So if my arm is Chief, this is the remote collar. The slip collar is going to go on above that, just behind his ears. This is to help guide him on walks and in the house. We take this tab and we slide it down so that it's snug, allowing 1 finger in there. So this is a guiding tool. Let's say we're on a walk and Chief is doing really well, but he starts to kind of meander up here. We would say no, push the remote, and then tug the leash. Give it a little pop. This is to help guide him. When you're in the house, you can have this on him without the leash being attached, and you can guide him to your place bed. That way he gets used to where it's at in the house. So this is a guiding tool to help reinforce the training. We first taught all the commands on the leash first and then added the remote collar to it. So he is very familiar with tug means something's incorrect. I need to either sit or go to place or lay down or whatever the command was. So you'll use this for training as well. Set that off to the side. We have his box here, so his charger can charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. We also have a couple of things over here. This little bag has his contact points that will be extended if for some reason you decide to grow his hair out. That helps weave through the hair. This little black tool here will help change them. If he goes swimming, what I would suggest is before you put the collar on him, take this little tool and tighten up the prongs right here, just to make sure that no water is going to get in the electronics part. And then under here we have the instructions if you want to go over them in greater detail, but we pretty much discussed all of the buttons that you'll need to use and actually all the features. So at the end of the day, when you're done and it's time for bed, you'll take this off. He can wear this 10 to 12 hours. I can't remember if I already said that or not. You'll turn this off by touching the magnets. So the red magnet's right here. We are going to touch the two together. Red light turns off. It's off. Then you want to push and hold this button right here. So I'm going to push it until it is, oh, I didn't push it long enough. I'm going to push and hold it until it turns off. So you do have to push and hold for a little bit. So with Chief, reward the behaviors you want to see more often. When he's doing a good job, we want to pay him and let him know that we appreciate him doing what we're asking. You won't have to give treats all the time, but I highly recommend giving them a lot right now to build up his knowledge with you and to make sure that he understands that you're going to pay him for his training just like I did. And then remember, correct any and all bad behavior. Jumping, mouthing, anything that you don't want to roll over into adulthood, correct it with the remote collar. It has this lanyard so you can wear it on you in the house. Just stay consistent and have fun. And now we're going to show you Chief's commands. Good heel. Good heel. Nope. Sit. Sit. Good sit. Sit. Heel. No. Heel. Down. Down.
The local sports minute is brought to you by Anytime Fitness. See why Anytime Fitness is just right for you. Located between Menards and Walmart at Gamble Crossings Plaza and the Tilden County Market Plaza. Open 24/7. Anytime Fitness.
Good boy. Down. Good down. Free. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Okay. Okay. Right there. Okay. Leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Okay. I think you missed one. Right there. Okay. Find it. Your foot's on it. Right here. Free. Free. Leave it. Good boy. Okay. Good job. Place. Place. Good boy. Place. Place. Good boy. Place. Place. Away. Good boy. Good place. Free. Good job. Eat it. Eat that ball. Hey, go back to place. Good job. Place. Okay. Free. Sit. Sit. Free. Good boy. Place. Good job. Place. Free. Sit. Free. Good boy. Place. Good job. Good boy. Place.